Spencers.
So, what's the Spencers?
Hi, I'm Lizzie.
I'm Heath. This is Mia and Brett, and we're the Four Bushes.
Hi, we're the Bottleys. I'm Sean. It's my wife Kelsey, and this is our 3.5-year-old named Maverick, and this is our son that's 18 months old. His name is Remington.
Okay, so I'm Lauren. This is my husband Rhett, and this is our daughter Abby, who just turned 2.
Our big sister Taylor
A big sister, Taylor,
is at college.
at college.
Then there's Miles. Then there's Miles.
There's Miles.
Then there's Luke.
And there's Luke.
Drew.
Drew.
Gabe.
Gabe.
And me.
And me. So it's you and Dad and me.
Oh yeah, I forgot about me and Dad, huh?
Hi, I'm Nick, and this is Charlie and Ruger.
And I'm Ashley.
We are the Smith family. Ruger is 2.5 years old and has Spina Bifida. And this is Charlie, and she is almost 6.
The day we were given the diagnosis was kind of interesting just because it was at our 20th ultrasound, but we had had at least 5 ultrasounds before. We also at 14 weeks we found out that it was a boy, and so we were very surprised that anything was wrong.
When I was getting my 23-week checkup, they were doing the ultrasound, and the radiologist or ultrasound lady, she kept going over her head and just measuring her head, and I was like, okay, she was taking forever and much longer than with Brett, so I was just wondering, why are you taking forever with her head? And so when I asked her, I'm like, is there something wrong? She's like, oh, I'm gonna have the doctor come and talk to you. And I was like, oh great, I know there's something wrong.
So he came in and told us that he wasn't sure, but he thought that she had a neural tube defect and that she likely had Spina Bifida.
I did not know what Spina Bifida was, and I think for the first time I really broke down, and it was a very tough day, just having a lot of unknown of what he was going to be capable of doing or what our lives were going to be like. That next night was even harder because we sat and Googled, and I became an expert within a 12-hour period on Spina Bifida.
The proudness is you became a medical expert on Spina Bifida, just what the medical books say. It's not, Google is your worst enemy when you find something out like this.
But after talking with our awesome neurosurgeon, he said, you know, ETVs don't have a great success rate in babies this young, and so maybe let's think about doing a shunt.
We were kind of on the fence about the fetal surgery. Mav is our first baby, so we were really hesitant with pursuing that, just because you know, there's potential risk towards future pregnancies, and you know, there's all sorts of things you have to consider. And
so we went out to San Francisco to find out if we were going to be eligible for the surgery.
We ran a few tests.
I mean, it was a great option. It was something that brought hope of, oh my gosh, this is going to fix everything. And we'd heard so many great things about it.
And so we both kind of from the get-go, we were pursuing that, but also both of us sort of felt like that wasn't going to be the right path for us. And when they did the MRI to qualify us and found out Matt had a horseshoe kidney, and that was kind of a disqualifier, we were both sort of like, okay, well, you know, that's the direction, obviously, that we're going to have to take. And it was really kind of a relief, because
the decision wasn't ours.
The decision wasn't ours, and like, we weren't really comfortable with that anyway. We just didn't really feel like that was the right choice, the fetal surgery. So I guess it was an easy decision for us. But.
Yeah, and then Mav's lesion, she's L3, L4, so lumbar, lower back.
Well, they put in her shunt 10 days after she was born. It's a VP shunt, and they put it here up front. And then a few weeks later, it was May, the shunt failed, it clogged, and so she was starting to swell up on the side where the tube was going down into her abdomen. And so we knew that the spinal fluid was collecting around the tube. So then she got her second shunt in May.
The fetal surgery versus the closure, after spending time learning about Spina Bifida and some of the challenges, learning that like there's no just every kid, every person who has Spina Bifida is different. So I was up for having the fetal surgery just because of the one fact that lowered the percentage of probability of needing a shunt.
And we chose that we wanted to wait. Our specific state, we couldn't even, it wasn't really an option. We would have had to travel to another state to have the surgery, the fetal surgery, and the risks didn't really outweigh the benefits for us, and so we just decided to go with the closure after birth, and things just worked out with that.
The doctor came in and said, you know, after looking at his MRI, if you just took the top of his head in the picture, it looks like a normal kid's brain, and it looks great. I mean, if you look at the lower part where it's kind of deformed, where the cerebellum is, you can tell that it's a spina bifida brain, but everything looks good, so we can just watch him. So we decided to just keep watching him, but we were really leaning towards the ETV first before a shunt. So we would have tried the EVT and then moved on to a shunt if that didn't work.
Once we had him and everything that happened after, I just realized that this was what Ruru needed. This was the course that Ruru needed to go on.
So Mia her lesion level is L4 to S2, but the doctors aren't quite sure yet. I guess they'll know better as she grows older. We have to cath her 4 times a day. She actually has something else called dysphagia, and so she has to have her liquids thickened all the time. She can't have any normal liquids.
His lesion level is an L5
to S3.
To S3. Originally they thought it was going to be a S2, so it ended up being a little bit higher.
So Abby has Spina Bifida. Her lesion level is L3, L4 is what we've been told.
Okay, so advice for you guys who are just newly diagnosed. It's okay to cry, and it's okay to process everything that they've just told you. Like we said, diagnosis day is the worst, and you're going to feel all of the feelings. Like you had plans for this child and plans for your future family, and while this diagnosis may change those plans, you're still going to have a great life. But it's okay to feel all of the feelings. Don't be ashamed of feeling those things.
It felt really overwhelming at first, but you just take it a day at a time. You don't have to worry about the challenges they're going to face in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. You just do it one day at a time. And they learn to do things in their own way. They learn to overcome.
Itsy bitsy spider. Itsy bitsy spider left the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out.
No mom guilt.
My advice is go and meet someone who has a child with Spina Bifida and view and be around their child, and I promise you that it'll take a lot of the worry and stress out of your life and as you're worrying about this.
Having Cole with Spina Bifida really doesn't change what you do with like a normal brother. After having Cole as a brother, it's really opened, like my knowledge has really expanded and I actually like know what it is. So it's a lot like better than it sounds. Like it just doesn't affect their personality at all. I'd say they're just as happy. They're a lot more excited.
Some things I have learned because of Mia's diagnosis with Spina Bifida is just to be more aware of others. Like, before Mia came into our lives, I didn't really notice people with disabilities in general, and now that we have Mia and she has special needs, it's just opened a whole new world to us.
The Spina Bifida community is so helpful when it comes to answering questions or getting advice.
The community is a really good resource for that, to learn new things.
That we have been able to meet so many people, so many families.
And we're so grateful. We have the funnest group. We do play groups together. We have swim socials. We have just a ton of different activities. We go bowling together.
I love that if you have any questions, there's a Facebook group that we'd love to have you join, and you can just post any question. You can get tons of feedback.